Welcome to a short tutorial over stoichiometry. Please have out your homework packet and a periodic table and a calculator to assist you. Okay, so stoichiometry. The first thing about stoichiometry is it's important that you have a balanced equation to work with. So for number one, we have the synthesis of water. Well, this equation is not balanced, so we have to add coefficients in order to balance it first. Right now, it just says H2 plus O2 yields H2O. That's not possible, so we have to add coefficients. I'm looking on the right side, I notice that there's only one oxygen, but there's two oxygens on the left. So I'm going to add a coefficient of 2 in front of water. Now there's 4 hydrogens on the right, so I'm going to add a coefficient of 2 in front of hydrogen. Now my equation's balanced. So now that I have a balanced equation, there are 3 steps that I taught you in order to solve stoichiometry problems. The first one is that you must always change your given to units of moles. So I'm going to make a short list here. Okay, so in this equation, it says if 128 grams of oxygen, okay, that tells me that oxygen is my given. Because it's originally in units of grams, I'm going to have to convert to units of moles. Now, we can give you units of atoms, molecules, or formula units. In that case, you would have to use 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd in order to convert to a mole. We can give you, like we did in this one, grams, which is, we'll use a conversion factor of molar mass to get you to 1 mole. Or we can give you liters, so you'll have to use 22.4 liters to get to a mole. If you have issues with dimensional analysis, please see the previous tutorial over dimensional analysis to get help first. So if you don't understand dimensional analysis, stoichiometry is going to be very difficult. So see a tutorial over that one first. Okay, so continuing. After you finish step 1 and you've changed the given into units of moles, go on to step 2, which is the ratio step. Then, once you finish the ratio step, you'll go to step 3, which is to convert to the proper unit. Okay, so let's go ahead and start doing this. It's easier to understand the list once you begin. Okay, so my given, I've already identified it as 128.0 grams of oxygen. Okay, I know oxygen is O2 because I can look at my balanced equation. Because it's O2, meaning it's diatomic, the molar mass is going to be twice the mass of oxygen. So 15.999 times 2 is 31.998 grams of O2. And make sure when you're labeling, you're giving the unit and you're giving the substance. That's very important. And this is equal to 1 mole of oxygen. So I've completed step 1. I have changed the given into units of moles. Step 2, the ratio step. Well, what do I mean by a ratio? I mean that I need to include a ratio step that will get me from moles of oxygen, because when these cancel, now I'm in moles of oxygen, to moles of whatever the unknown is. So when you read this problem, it's asking for how many grams of water is formed. So I know my unknown is water. Okay, so moles of water will go on top because the unknown is always on the top, and moles of oxygen will go on the bottom. And if you look, this keeps with our theory and dimensional analysis that the units have to match diagonally so that they'll cancel. Well, how do I know what the ratio is? Meaning the numbers that go in front of moles of water and moles of oxygen. The numbers that go in front are from the balanced equation. They're the coefficients in the balanced equation. So because there's a 2 in front of water, I'm going to put a 2 here. And because there's a 1 in front of oxygen, I'm going to put a 1 here. Okay, it's really blank, but it stands for 1. So my ratio step is complete. In the ratio step, the key thing is to remember the unknowns on top, the givens on the bottom. And lastly, for step 3, I'm going to convert to the proper unit. Now the proper unit is grams because it's asking me for grams of water. If I was going to stop here, I would have moles of water. So I have to continue with one more step. And this comes from dimensional analysis. If I have 1 mole of H2O, then I have 18, I'm not exactly sure what it is. Let's see, 15.999, because that's my oxygen, plus 2 hydrogens, which are 1.008 grams each. So it should be 18.015. Remember, it's H2O, so I had to add 2 hydrogens, 1 oxygen to get the molar mass of water. Okay, so moles of water will cancel, and I'll end up with grams of water, which is going to solve my problem for me. Okay, so literally step 1, 2, and 3 have to be done every single time when you're solving stoichiometry problems. So I'm going to multiply this to get my answer. 128 times 2 times 18.015, enter, divided by 31.998 gives me 144.1290081 grams. Well, I don't want to write all that down. Remember, you have to round to significant figures. Because there are 4 sig figs in my given, I have to round to 4 sig figs in my answer. So my final answer for this problem will be 144.1 grams of H2O. Okay, I hope this tutorial helped. Remember, steps 1, 2, and 3 are necessary every single time. You cannot skip one. So follow these steps and you should be home free for solving stoichiometry problems. Okay, I will see you tomorrow. I hope this helped.